back to the start, yeah. But I'm feeling the fire up in my heart. Don't you think that we're ready for another part? Cause I know that we're really too far from the start. Cause I know that we're really too far from the start. But I'm feeling the fire up in my heart. Don't you think that we're ready for another part? Cause I know that we're really too far from the start. And I'm feeling the feeling, the feeling, that I'm feeling the catching on fire. When we're both here taking the day, are you ready for fire? Cause it seems we're on the same flame. And I'm
Okay guys, we did it. Now it's time to break into the Telosium generator room.
Telosium, huh? The powerful and unstable energy we need.
I must say, seems like a trap.
Not just seems. Definitely is.
And we're going in like this?
Of course. We need energy.
And I'm not in the mood to recharge in an outlet.
Well done. Was easier than we thought.
Every time you open your mouth, something bad happens.
Ouch. That hurt. Remember, this mouth is ours. Do you know who the cowboy is?
Not a clue.
In any case, we agree that he deserves our best treatment, right?
My friend, we'll have to agree. You gave us the best gift of all!
Let me guess. Another night of bad dreams?
Worse. Bad memories.
Hey.
Steffi, my girl, what can I get you?
I'll have the same as he has. Are you alone?
Waiting for someone.
Never saw tech like this before. It must have been expensive.
Let's say I'm still paying for it.
My guys are here. Maybe you can tell me more about it later.
Leave him. He isn't a Mamba anymore.
What are you looking at, you freak?
Chill out, Alvaro. We're not here for trouble.
You know what? I might want some trouble. Is that all? A bad penny always turns up. Shrouds have no pockets. Hi, Sonia.
Orion, you were supposed to go back. Leave this place right now.
Sorry for the mess. Keep the change.
Just refresh my mind. Why should I get in the middle of this mess?
You owe us a favor.
It seems more like a never-ending debt with the Mambas. By the way, you're looking terrible.
We're fine compared to the rest of the platoon. We need to know who this guy is.
All right, better get started.
keep them on the prize. Cause when I take a look over my life, it always go left and never go right. Yeah. You stole Lupe.
Lupe?
For you, stupid, it's Guadalupe. Lupe! What'd they do to you, girl? Shh. Huh?
Darn right. And a traitor doesn't deserve such a pretty face.
Whatever. Just shut it.
Why? You're not enjoying a little tete-a-tete?
Who's the pretty face now? Hey, you! You stole Guadalupe! Get a real girlfriend, dumbass! Not a real... screw you! I had to sprint all over town for my deliveries. I'm no thief. I just borrowed your ride for a job.
Steal this white whale van and I'll give you twice as much.
Why are you here? Funny you'd ask. Sorry, miss. Someone just stole my Lupe and I had to sprint all over town.
Yeah. Noodles won't get you out of the city, you know. If you want real cash, work for me. I know a loser could use some help.
A loser? Come on, can't you stop wasting your life with these dirty jobs? When you stop acting like your crooked dad! He was your father too, Tatsuya. Oh, was he?
The Garcia brothers. What are you doing here, kiddos?
Well, my brother here was about... Shut up, man.
Shiro, Tatsuya, you don't have to take your father's path.
It's all here.
Okay, good job. Send it to HQ. You are at a crime scene, kiddos. I'm afraid I have to detain you.
No! It's my fault, Mr. Mark. My bike was stolen, so I...
Couldn't you just call us, Shiro? Be smarter than that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So, we're good?
Good wouldn't begin to describe the electric atmosphere here for the Crimson Tower grand opening. The building will finally open its doors to the lucky ones.
What? I was defending you.
Great job, noodle guy.
At least we're not involved in that gal's mess anymore. Explosives? Thanks, but no hey!
Where's my cargo?
Ooh, no fireworks for you. The warder's got it.
I came here through the evidence room. Nothing else than an ugly bike.
Hey! Lupe is not...
What are you saying?
If that Moby Dick truck is not here, it's been taken.
Moby Dick? Wait, you think that the whales...
Have a mole here? Yep.
That still doesn't tell us where...
The best catering companies are ready to serve delicious food for the most important...
Okay. My guys will take it from here. Stay away from that tower, losers. Mwah!
Losers. Guess what I'm thinking?
Saving the day with your fave bro to clean the Garcia's name and...
Borrow a swank car from some drunk rich people and scram.
Man, rich people can't hold their liquor. Yeesh.
Okay, let's beat it.
Beat it? With all these people in the building?
That is the idea. Yes.
Mr. Mark, sir, it's great you're here.
He's the crook, stupid.
Crook? No. I'm a supplier. I bring chaos, and then I provide order. Full circle, see?
We won't let you do this!
Your father said the same.
Keep my friends close, but my enemies close. Thought we were family. Now I see that I can't trust nobody in this world. And his name is in the whole world. My life is so I never know I gotta go get this money. You wanna go this high, but I never see you try. And I lost my juice, but now I'm back. Gotta tell her the story. My heart is racing, it's like
knife just like this one on your Snoopy dad. Full circle indeed. Your whole family are bad apples after all. Huh?
Supplier! How'd you like them apples? What was... Did you just drop our only evidence? You're welcome.
You two suck at following orders, but I guess Roses was a bit hard. Need a ride?
Thanks, miss, but I think my bro and I need to... Tatsuya? Tatsuya? आगे पीछे हम तो हार से सीख के खेल में बन गए चीते आसमां में उड़ गए दुश्मन रह गए नीचे बुरे के साथ चले तो मिलते फिर बुरे नतीजे अरे गिर कर रहे सीज फायर मत्थे पे देंगे शॉट फायर कैलिबर खाली पे एडमायर खाली बिली बैठे नहीं बनते ने लड़के होते इंस्पायर चेक कर डेट तेरा निकलेगा एक्सपायर चिल करे गैंग रूल करे पूरा एम्पायर डेडिकेटेड रहा तभी लेविटेड इन दिस गेम आई है विन विन बोना भी रहे हैं दिन गिन उत्तर से लेके पश्चिम पूरा से स्क्वाड पहुंची है दक्षिण हर जगह मचेगा शोर हमसे भिड़ेगा बचेगा कौन जोन में खड़े अलोन गैंग मेरी बहुत हार्ड ना क्लोन यहाँ हम हुए पसीने में तरबतर एनिमीज जाने छुप गए किधर हार की वजह है इनका डर हम तो जीत के जाएंगे अपने घर ना करो चिंता रखो सबर छोड़ी ना हमने भी कोई कसर अपनी भी अलग ही वाइब है निकला सफर में सबका है गोल खुशी हम बांटे सोल टू सोल रुक भी नहीं सकते ये लंबी दौड़ मेरे लोग साथ मेरे मुश्किल मोड़ कहते हैं ओजी इन दिस गेम विक्ट्री के साथ सारे करे सेलिब्रेट चले तो मिलते फिर बुरे नतीजे निकला सफर में सबका है गोल खुशी हम बांटे सोल टू सोल रुक भी नहीं सकते ये लंबी दौड़ मेरे लोग साथ मेरे मुश्किल मोड़ कहते हैं ओजी इन दिस गेम विक्ट्री के साथ सारे करे सेलिब्रेट
ओए हैप्पी दिवाली ओए क्या मस्त लॉबी है दिवाली की
नहीं पापे अभी नहीं है ये दिवाली हैप्पी अभी तो दीदी की रंगोली पर चक्री घुमाना बाकी है उस फूलों वाली रंगोली पर ऐसी चक्री घुमाऊंगा कि फिर वो रंगोली नहीं शैतान का द्वार लगेगी और फिर बाद में पड़ोसी के दिए भी तो उड़ाने सुटली बम से फटा अभी फटा 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 अबे शैतान जाना क्यों परेशान कर रहा है फुलझड़ी जलाने दोगे तो चला जाऊंगा ठीक है तुम हुस्न परी तुम जाने जहां बस अब तुम सबसे हसीन तुम सबसे जवान शैतान सौंदर्य साबुनीमा शैतान सौंदर्य साबुनीमा अच्छा ठीक है जा रहा हूँ और पापा दिवाली की सबसे ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट चीज जो भी रिश्तेदार काजू कतली की जगह सोन पपड़ी लेके आएगा उसे हम मार डालेंगे हाँ नहीं पापा तो उनसे हम पैसे लेंगे और उस पैसों का खरीदेंगे मैग्मा बॉन बंडल बहन जी आप ये सोन पपड़ी छोड़िए, अब आप एक काम करिए, मेरी ये सोने की चेन रख लीजिए। तुमने देखा क्या साइको बच्चा यार उनका, बोल रहा था मैग्मा बॉन बंडल लेगा। कौन से हथियार का नाम है ये?
पापा वो फ्री फायर मैक्स का बंडल है।
अच्छा जी, मतलब मैं पागल हूँ, उसे 1.5 लाख की चेन ऐसे ही दे आया। बेटा ये सब कोड नेम होते हैं हथियारों के। कल भी ऑफिस के बाहर एक बंदा बोलता उसे ग्रिजली बॉन बंडल मिल गया। भैया मैंने तो उसे तभी अपनी सोने की अंगूठी दे दी। ए चल रे गाड़ी रोक, अपुन के पास AK-47 है। हाँ गाड़ी दे चल। अरे माहिर ये गेम की बातें करके असली गाड़ी लूटेगा, चल भाग यहाँ से। अरे दिवाली इवेंट में मैजिक क्यूब बिगेस्ट प्राइज। भाई आप प्लीज हमें हाँ मत करना, आप गाड़ी ले जाइए।
ओए यार क्या म्यूजिक है यार इस दिवाली लॉबी का।
अबे यार ये शॉन्टी भी है, कहाँ रह गए?
ओए वैसे तीसरा बंदा कौन है?
पता नहीं, ऐसे ही रैंडमली मिला था।
अरे भाई स्टार्ट करो ने, फोकट में टाइम पास नथी करो।
अरे मारो फोन किधर छे?
ए 2 मिनट रुक रे भाई, मालिक आ रहा है।
अरे ये शॉन्टी भी कहाँ रह गए? गेम भी चालू हो गया है।
ओए क्या मस्त प्लेन है यार।
अरे मोटा भाई पीक पे उतरो, मर्द लोग वहीं जाते हैं ना।
ठीक है अब तो पीक पे ही चलेंगे सब। सबका क्या मतलब भाई, मैं मर्द नहीं है भाई। ये हमारा है पीक।
ये कहाँ उतार दिया पापे तूने?
मोटा भाई यहाँ तो पीक का आता पता ही नहीं है।
अबे यहाँ से तो मैं भी स्टार्ट नहीं होता हूँ।
तुम कौन भाई?
अबे मैं जोन हूँ।
क्या? सॉरी भाई जोन आउट हो गया था।
अबे मैं जोन हूँ।
सॉरी भाई क्या?
अभी तक शॉन्टी भी होते तो हम ये गेम जीत चुके होते। कहाँ है यार वो? सुटली बम, लक्ष्मी बम, सिलेंडर, K93 न्यूक्लियर बॉम्ब, सांप की गोली, सब शॉन्टी अपने हाथ में फोड़ता है। और शॉन्टी भैया आप मेरे रॉकेट जला सकते हो क्या? मुझे बड़ा डर लगता है, ये हमेशा मेरे पीछे आ जाता है। अबे रॉकेट से कौन? यहाँ मुझे रॉकेट कुछ नहीं कर सकता। चलो एक फ्री फायर मैक्स का गेम खेलने दो। शॉन्टी भैया बच्चे के साथ क्या मस्ती कर रहा है? तुम्हें तो मर्द के साथ खेल। आजा 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 आजा।
शॉन्टी भैया गेम में आओ ना, दिवाली इवेंट चल रहा है।
अरे अरे मेरा मन नहीं है, तुम लोग खेलो। आजा 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 आजा। अभी तक कोई लूट नहीं मिली।
ओए वो देख दिवाली वेंडिंग मशीन, आजा उससे लूट निकालते हैं।
और फिर नॉट टैप और उसकी टीम ने उस मैजिक क्यूब को पाने के लिए दिन और दिन एक कर दिया, क्योंकि रात मैप पे हो नहीं रही थी। और फिर वो लड़े आलोक से, हालातों से, मेरा मतलब हयातों से। और फिर उन्होंने।
अच्छा तो तू इतनी देर से बैकग्राउंड में बोल रहा था।
और हाँ फिर उन्होंने मुझे ढूंढ लिया।
हाँ और अब मारने भी वाले हैं। और ऐसे थर्ड पर्सन में क्या बात कर रहा है बे? मेरे मम्मी पापा लड़ते समय ऐसे बातें करते हैं।
पापे अपने पापा से बोलो यहाँ से चले जाए। और मैं नहीं जा रहा, बोल दे अपनी माँ से। पापे इनसे बोल चले जाए। मैं नहीं जा रहा पापे।
ओए तीसरे का आंसर बता। पापे अपने पापा बे यार।
अबे ये सेम चीज मेरे दादा दादी अभी भी करते हैं।
और लेकिन तेरे दादाजी तो
नहीं, उनकी आत्मा अभी भी आती है।
बैठे अपनी दादी से।
अरे भैरी हो गई है दादी, और आप फिर से नरक से भाग के आ गए। मैंने यमराज से कंप्लेंट कर दूंगा आपकी।
ओए वार्डन से कंप्लेंट मत करना। अरे बेटे सैटरडे नाइट स्नीक आउट करके आया हूँ, अपने दोस्तों के साथ मूवी देखने का प्लान है।
कौन सी?
अरे बेटा जिंदगी ना मिलेगी।
अरे यार
भाई खैर जो भी ऐसे मारते हैं अब।
नहीं अभी समय नहीं है। ओए तू तो ये डिसाइड करे भी मत, तेरे पास पैन है। जिसके पास पैन होता है ना वही राज चलाता है। जैसे माँ, मैं कभी दिखलाता नहीं पर आलोक से डरता हूँ मैं माँ। अबे ओ इमोशनल मत कर यार, मुझे पता है अब तुम अपनी गन उठाओगे मुझ पे। नहीं तो मैं अबे और अब तुम मुझ पे गोली चलाओगे। अरे नहीं भाई, लेकिन मैं हट जाऊंगा और वो पीछे वाले को लग जाएगी।
ये हो क्या रहा है?
मैं नरेटर हूँ, मैं जो बोलता हूँ वही होता है।
अबे मैं तो उसकी बात कर रहा हूँ, उसे क्या हो रहा है?
मुझे बस थोड़ी सी गैस है। और फिर नॉट योर टाइप और उसकी टीम ने एक एक करके सारी टीमों को हरा दिया। बाय द वे मैं नरेटर, उन्होंने मुझे भी मार दिया था। अब बस 2 बंदे बचे हुए हैं और हम की स्वागत नहीं करोगे हमारा? शॉन्टी भैया इसका मतलब आपने हमारे साथ धोखा किया। सॉरी मैजिक। डायलॉग तो बोलने दो। आपको क्या लगा धोखा देना बस आपको ही आता है? नहीं, लेकिन गेम जीतना बस मुझे ही आता है। जरा अपने खिड़की के बाहर देख। क्या? हैप्पी दिवाली! बूया तो बस मैं रहा। अरे मैं जीत गया। तो ऐसे करते हैं बूया फ्री फायर मैक्स में। चोर भाई पहले बताना था ना। और वैसे लेके कहाँ जा रहे हो मुझे और मेरी फैमिली को?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, survivors of all ages. This is the Free Fire USA Championship 2025 Winter Edition. Today is day 1 out of 6 days in our group stage, and that's all I'm going to give you for now. We'll walk you through the format of the competition in just a little bit. My name's AJ, I'm the Mustachio, down here with my brother Neptune, the gentleman Garcia. We are your casters for the day and throughout the whole competition, actually.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really excited on what's going to happen right now. This is the second edition for the year for FFUSA, and when it was introduced previously, we had no idea who to watch out for. But right now, we have a few more teams as well as a few returning teams that might wow us. But I would like to see that wow factor coming from the new introductory teams put into this mix.
Yeah, 3 brands making it back in here. Not all of the brands have got the exact same roster as they make it their way back in here. We'll break that down for you guys in a little bit as well. But 3 brands out of so many squads. We've got 24 teams participating in FFUSC this time around. I'm very excited about this because it shows us that the scene is not fully mature yet. You don't have very consistent dominators, which means the opportunity to pick this game up, the opportunity to become a pro player in the USA is still very much on the cards here, very much on the table for anybody out there who is a Free Fire enthusiast. So if you do have a squad, if you are pretty judgmental, if you see some gameplay out here where you're like, that's what they decided to do, then please know we look forward to having you in the competitions moving forward as well. Let's take a look at the prize pool. For now, just like the previous season, we've got a total of $30,000 US for all of the teams out here to split between themselves. And of course, the biggest chunk, the biggest slice of that pie, $10,000 US for the winners.
Yeah, let's see if T-Rex will be able to grab this 10,000 or some other team. But the second place will be getting $5,000 US, 3,000 for the third, and for the 4th to the 6th would be 1,800, 1,200 to the 7th to the 8th, and for those from the 10th to the 12th will be getting $1,000 US. And well, as you can see, there's only 12, and half of which would be coming from 24 teams in the 4 groups that we have right now. So I'm really excited onto who's going to fight for this top 12 spot.
Yeah, you took the thought right out of my mind, man. I was just thinking about this, right? 24 teams, but only 12 teams get to walk away with a little bit of cash. The rest of the 12 squads, well, they get to walk away a tad bit embarrassed, but with a lot of motivation to make their comeback and dominate in the future seasons. But don't give them a chance, guys. Don't give them a chance. Like I said, go out there, judge their gameplay, and hopefully you guys watching, not playing this time around, just purely watching, will be able to pull together a squad, get through the qualifiers for the following seasons, and show us exactly what you and your team is made of. Once again, it's a growing region, right? And this is the time you have to take advantage of these competitions. The prize pools are still very decent, even though we are still growing, right? But this is the group stage, knockout stage, as well as grand finals. We've got 3 stages in total here. 6 days of play for our group stage, where we've got 24 teams. 18 teams will survive for the knockout stage, where there are a total of 4 play days. And from that, only 12 teams will survive for the grand finals, where we've got champion rush condition activated once again, with a very big difference, Neptune. This time, a maximum of 8 instead of 8 instead of 10 games.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still looking for that opportunity where in the teams, or that time where in the teams will be ending it even less than 6, because so far the record has been broken in the global stage, in the global finals, wherein it ended on 7th round. So let's see if the teams, especially in the USA, you did mention it is quite young right now on how the teams are, how the scene is in the US. So let's see if they'll be able to do it right here. But before they do it, they need to stack up on the points. And speaking of points, those Booyah will grab you a huge amount of points, which is 12. It goes down drastically on the 2nd and by 1 up until the 10th. Unfortunately, the 11 and 12 will not be getting anything, so hopefully they stack up with that on elimination.
Absolutely. So every single elimination walks away. So you get to walk away with 1 point. So the more eliminations you stack up on your squad, the better your chances are at kind of balancing the situation if your squad gets eliminated too early, on which point we would love to kind of hold ourselves together for as long as possible out there on the battlefield. Because yes, these elimination points are very tempting because you get to decide your fate. Placement points, on the other hand, they've got a cap, right? Maximum of 12 points. But if you're not picking up those placement points consistently and you're only focusing on the eliminations, we've seen this backfire for many of the super veteran squads out there as well, where they get engaged a little bit too early, they get massive eliminations, but they never seem to get through even halfway part of the game, which means they miss out on a lot of these placement points. And at the end of the day, it does affect them, right? They don't get to qualify mainly because they were focusing on the wrong element here. I don't think that elimination points are not important, but at which stage of each and every single match you play those risky, maneuvers will really determine how far you go here now.
Exactly. I mean, some teams, especially from those in a bigger stage, really takes their time to loot up, to get in position, get in every stage of the circle before they go for an engagement. And I guess that's a great mix of passive and aggressive, and hopefully mechanical skills is a part as well, because in spite of how careful you are, you might meet up with other teams, and that's where you need to survive and fight back.
Yeah, absolutely. So the meta play needs to be as solid as your mechanical skills. You may have mechanical skills, but all the teams here have gone through the in-game qualifiers. All the teams here know how to play a good game of Free Fire. At this stage, though, once it gets to the pro stages, when you are being live broadcasted to the whole world, what may just make that extra bit of difference for you between you and your opponents, who may be on the exact same range of mechanical skills, is your mastery over the current meta. I mean, season after season, patch after patch, the game has been growing and at a very rapid pace in the past couple of years, right? You gotta love that. But if you're a pro player, there's a lot to keep up with, there's a lot to get used to, and there's a lot of relearning that's involved. I mean, you just mastered one gun, and the next thing you know, the next patch update nerfs that gun. You gotta practice a brand new one. The Winchester's out, those double shots. You gotta master it, man. You gotta keep onto the meta. You can't just say that, nah, I'm a Trogon player, I'm just gonna be running around with that gun. You might still have a little bit of fun in those pub matches, but on a stage like this, I don't think it's gonna fly.
Yeah, I remember from the previous season wherein we've seen the rise of the plasma gun. I mean, early drops, yes, it would work because you don't need that much like ammunition, and then the fire rate is it's like quick. You can eliminate it in just a few seconds, but after that, that's where it dies down. So that's where the meta comes in. Whether the AC-80, Winchester right now, but especially for the snipers. I mean, there's a lot of options that you can use, but we can see in the current meta on the global scene that the M82B has died down. So I want to see those adjustments as well in an early scene just like this in the USA.
Yeah, absolutely. I big fan of the M82B. Even bigger fan when the M82B is played in the hands of pro players out there. I mean, you can make magic work with that sniper. Just not the right meta for that gun as of this point of time. The AC-80 definitely has taken over. The marksman has been doing phenomenally well. We got a damage boost on it. Everybody is on the AC-80 as of now. And of course, for those closer range combat, the M590 has been able to get the job done. The Winchester, a brand new addition, has got those double shots as a marksman as well, which gives you a little bit of an edge, right? The AC-80, lower in terms of fire rate, great damage. Winchester, slightly better fire rate. One extra bullet. Get the job done, though.
Well, let's add in as well. I mean, the Bison has made a comeback after the OB51 update. So it seems like the damage is increased, and also the fire rate is very optimal in close range combat. A P90, well, still being used, but at some point there's still some like pros and cons when you compare these weapons. So let's see on what they will be bringing in right here. We keep talking about the metal weapons, suggestion on what they can use, but that would depend on the play style. If their play style doesn't match it, then like whatever we're saying, throw it out a window. But hopefully it's still they make those adjustments based on what is working right now in the game, as well as tie it up with the active skills.
Yeah, team boosters, tac market, these are the two basics that you got to bring into these battle royales now. You got to really figure out exactly how you're going to be boosting up your squad with the team booster. Tac market is going to be very important for, finding the reposition out there on the battlefield instantaneously. Doing a bunch of stuff out there that's going to be really important for the survivability of your squad as in the grand scheme of things, right? Because you get to access the tactical market from anywhere on the battlefield. We haven't seen the leg pockets in action just yet. We haven't seen the enhanced hammer in Battle Royale. These are the kinds of elements that are going to be very important here in FFUSC. It's part of the meta. You got to play the meta. If you're not playing the meta, especially those team boosters, man, you get to survive longer outside the circle. You get to boost up your glue walls. So many things that you can do. So much of magic that you can work with that when used correctly and your team is just working at an optimum level with the rotations, you're extra boosted out there for some extra firepower, extra defense. What can go wrong? Probably some misplays, but
Well, let's see, though, if that would be happening right now, because so far we have a preview of 2 days of play here. And the groupings as well, Group A, B, C, and D. And as you can see, for day number 1, we're going to start it off with Group A and B for the first 3 games, and then the last 3 games would be Group C and D. Switching it over on day number 2, we are going to see the same set of maps, but in different order, so that everyone from the 4 groups will have an even amount of play time on each map.
Yeah, I mean, I was just theory crafting. If in case we brought out a randomizer every day and we had the groupings like this, I tell you, some teams would have been tortured. But this is a very fair way to set up the groupings. Everybody plays the same number of maps, same number of times. So you can't really complain saying that, you know what, I was forced to play a map that I was not too good at. My squad is not comfortable on this map. So there are other maps where you can find your adjustments on. And obviously, that's a huge factor when you look at a growing region, right? And when you don't have so many of these teams in full, flight action just yet, you're going to tend to see some mistakes and some squads kind of leaning towards certain maps and leaning away from some other maps.
Yeah, and those who are eyeing for those mistakes are the teams that will be coming back from the previous season. And as you can see, Group A does have T-Rex, Group C has Rosario Central, and Group D has 5-Star Esports. So for Group B, it's all new right here, but you know how the mix is. So at some point, some of those from the 3 teams that we've seen previously will take advantage of their knowledge, of their experience to get a 1-up, if not a 4-up against everyone who is new. So that's where preparation is important. Yes, they don't have any information for day number 1, but once they jump in or before they go into day number 2, that's where the homework needs to be done. Watching all the VODs, all their positioning, as well as everything else needs to be addressed before they get forward onto the later part of the group stage.
Yeah, no doubt at all. And talk to me about this, Neptune, because you were telling me about how 5-Stars Esports, they're back in the competition. Their roster, though, doesn't look very familiar. What have you found out about that?
Yeah, so far it is a new roster, but it seems like 5-Star has a huge amount of teams as well, or player base as well. So we'll have to see, though, if this is something that we can increase the chances of them performing, because we've seen like 5-Star from the previous season. They did perform, but just fell off a little short. But before we proceed with 5-Star, let's take a look at the lineup of Group A. And, well, T-Rex is in there. We are seeing Bolakarn, player JK, but Darius as well as Putin will be in there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So looking forward to seeing exactly how Putin performs in here, along with the new squad. T-Rex as well, 2 new players. I wonder how this is going to go. You did mention 5-Stars Esports having a brand new roster on their side, but they do have a huge player base under their banner, right? So perhaps this is a great replacement of players that we can expect. But as far as T-Rex is concerned, there are 2 main dominators, Bolakarn as well as player JK. Player JK on those snipes, man, I was in love with the capability of this guy, annihilating player after player after player. The aim was magnificent, the plays and the positioning was supreme, and nothing was going wrong whenever player JK went out there for the squad with the snipes. And I'm looking forward to seeing a little bit more of that in this season.
Yeah, let's see though. I mean, the combination of player JK, the aggression of Bolakarn, and experience of Darius as well would be beneficial for them. But that's one thing that the teams really need to catch up on. The other teams really need to catch up on. Otherwise, like, there will be a loss. It would be very crucial that they study their opponents. They study the Hunters. But let's see though on who's going against them. Group B at this point, Chicago team, E7, Empire, Anexedos US, 787 Esports, Shinigamis, and Galaxy Gaming.
I'm definitely looking forward to Galaxy Gaming, mainly because I did see a couple of highlights from the squad. Chinon has got a lot of promise out here, Bolhan as well. So looking forward to seeing if or not that can translate into this competition, where they're going up against others who are definitely geared up for a battle like this, right? Shinigamis, big fan, just purely because of the squad name. I can't wait to see what they bring out here on the battlefield. We have got a lot to anticipate from these squads, but day one is going to be pretty much a wild card day, right? Because not just us, the teams themselves do not know the drop spots of their opponents. They do not know the play style of their opponents. So they have to figure that out on the fly, and they have to bring in these adjustments on the fly as well, which is really going to put them to the test. On this day one opener is where we get to see a clear separation from the squads that know how to bring these adjustments on the fly and those who just get overwhelmed by it.
Yeah, hold that thought. So it's not just day one, because I just remembered that the groupings as well as the changes in the map. So day two includes that as well, especially in the drop spot. So they have 2 days, and I guess that's beneficial for the other teams. They watch whatever they play from Group A, then that's or from the first set of groups, and then that's when we see them make the adjustment by the following week. But let's see Group in, or take a look at Group C right now. We have Blue, Novatos, Fox Gaming, Cold, Rosario Central, and Red Eagle ACD. I'm loving that I'm seeing another red team right here.
Yeah, I mean, I am a little disappointed because Escolta, the 16-year-old wonder kid that we got introduced to in the Rosario Central squad in the last season, is not back in the squad. The only player that has kind of maintained his position in this team is Kane. We know he's capable, but it was Escolta that stole our attention away. So if these other players have been thrown in here to replace the quality of Escolta, I've got big expectations, right? So Rosario Central is probably the team that could disappoint me the most from Group C now.
I mean, I'm hoping that their stamina would be a little bit different as well, because the Rosario Central knockout stage, they really were hot, but towards the end, like underperforming. So they lost that fire already. And not quite sure what the changes is. What probably it's like when Escolta was nerfed with a snipe. So that's one thing that Rosario Central could have addressed already towards the few months that they have preparing for this battle.
Yeah, and that's the downside of Rosario Central, because I have expectations and therefore I can be disappointed. But for the rest of the 5 squads, 0 expectations. I can only be impressed, and obviously we're looking forward to seeing these teams kind of give their best later on in the final 3 games. We've got Group D coming up for you guys as well, the final 6 teams that we will introduce before moving on. And 5 stars, definitely the squad we want to be focusing on here. 5 stars, the squad that has made a comeback in terms of brand appearance, but not in terms of player appearance. The team that annoyed the heck out of me with their skins are back in here with brand new players. And I think they got removed just because of the skins. No, I'm just kidding. It wasn't because of that. But I wonder what this full roster swap is going to do for them.
Yeah, let's see though. I mean, I'm pretty curious as well, because from the previous roster of 5 stars, we saw Zeus, and we saw wonderful players from Zeus or ZU's Gaming as well. So I'm just putting an assumption that since he did well from the previous season, he put up a new squad, or probably led a new squad, and went against a 5-star roster. But looking at how it is right now, if you can change your roster, pulled up that prestige after going in for 2 seasons, then I guess the huge opportunity for 5-star, the big squad that they have right now for 5-star, would have something else to offer, not just for this season, but also in the future.
Yeah, I think you brought up a really good point here. That Zeus from 5 Stars may just be the exact same Zeus from Zeus Esports. So I'm curious whether or not that is going to be the case. We'll try to verify that for you guys in a little bit. But if that is the case, I wonder how this guy is going to do, right? Because 5 Stars, I think they stepped it up in the grand finals. And that's exactly how these grand finals days are supposed to be, because you only have a set number of matches.
Yeah.
You don't have recovery days. It's do or die on that day. You go out and you go all out. And that's exactly what 5 Stars did. They walked away with the second spot. And then they come back in here in the season with a brand new roster. So so maybe they're like, okay, it's not enough. It's like they Asian parented this whole thing. They're like, you're either the champion or a loser. I'm sorry, 5 Stars. But, I hope to see them show up strong here today. Again, Groups A and B for the first 3 games. Group C and D for the final 3 games. We get to see all of these teams in participation today. So we get a taste of all of this. Tomorrow, like you said, so week 1 will be the week of testing, right? Because they go through all 6 maps, I have to say, over these 2 days. So a lot of chaos. I do anticipate. At the same time, there's a possibility of passive plays out there as well, Nick.
Yeah. I mean, that's one thing. Region after region, country after country, there's a different kind of meta in terms of gameplay. And especially with how games start right now, it starts off with an OG map. And you know how it is. Even in the global stage, even in other regions, it's always slow. Because of the familiarity of that map, and the rotation is, I would say it's easier to get away from engagement. So I'm expecting hot crops in there. I'm looking forward to hot crops, but there's also the back of my mind that they will pull away as easy as that. There's a lot of vending machine that can be used. There's a lot of revive platform that can be used. So if 1 or 2 players can pull away from the group, if they see that it's very difficult really to get in for the engagement, especially in the early phase, then that would increase their survivability rate. But it's more of how they can work with rotation, with their environment, as well as the drop spot, the weapons that they will be getting.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt at all. I think now we've got a great update, right? You've got in each and every single compound, strewn all around the map, these little weapon caches where you can just hop on, grab a weapon, so you don't have to just purely depend on the random weapon drops on each and every single compound within the map. So now, if you've played the game enough after the OB51 update, you should be able to know exactly where these weapons spawn. So this could be a good thing, this could be a bad thing, because if you've got a hot drop, I'm assuming everybody's going to be running towards the exact same spot to grab a weapon. Or you could just play, chicken, and you can go the other way and expect to find a play there a little bit later on. So many different combinations and computations of what could be a possibility of a gameplay, executed by one of the teams out there. Today is just going to be that wildcard day once again. We don't know what to expect, but okay, there's one thing we know that we can expect. A lot of fun, a lot of excitement in this first day. I am just looking for teams to go out here and prove themselves. Only 3 teams are at a disadvantage, and those are the 3 returning brands, because I have expectations of these 3. The rest of them, it's a free-for-all, Mr. Neptune.
There's one thing that would be sure as well. We're going to have 6 booyahs for today. 6 booyahs for today.
Amen,
Whoever will be getting it, like how many times they will be getting it, that will be the surprise. But I'm really looking forward to how quick they will be ending it. Early engagement, long-range weapon. But going back to your point about the weapon area, I had experience, just a little bit of story, since I guess we have plenty of time. I tried doing that, just going in the same spot overall. Unfortunately, instead of Winchester or a Parafal, I got a Trogon. And there's not so much that I can do in long range with a Trogon, bro. I'm not a shotgunner. So I just moved away, dropped the weapon afterwards, and then just like went out and tried to find a different weapon, tried to find a different play. So if that's a plan, I think there's still some cons in it.
I totally sympathize, and I understand the current player that still picks up the Trogon. I'm a spray and pray kind of guy, all right? So up close and personal, I cannot depend on my aim. The Trogon comes in clutch. You've got 3 shots out of it. It packs a punch. So fingers crossed you will be able to pull that off. But you're also looking at situations where teams are going to be focusing on how to best use their tactical market, right? And one of the best things out of the tactical market is the capability to purchase something called a bolt maker. You get to be Thor. Okay? You get to rain down. You get to rain down lightning strikes to annihilate your opponents. And of course, these lightning strikes do not damage your own team members. They damage the opposing squad. So, speaking of meta changes, the current meta is making sure you've got enough coins to make sure you can play whatever advantages that's out there, be it purchasing the bolt maker or doing whatever else out there in the battlefield, right? Even reviving your team members, you need those coins. And if you are not focusing on collecting those coins very early on, you're probably not going to be able to invest fully in items like these.
Yeah, exactly. And another thing is the hit list. And we've seen that so many times in other competitions as well, and there's a lot of hit lists thrown around because of the market available to easily buy that. Arsenal key is also makes it easily available. You don't have to look for it underground loot as well. So it just like increases your odds in the early phases of the game to beef your weaponry, beef everything that you have. And then you did mention about the bolt maker when you're going against the team, or especially on the latter part of the game, the final 4v4. You can use that to your best advantage, plus with the accurate skills that you have.
I think Bolt Maker Final Circle is just god level gameplay. We've seen so much of magic from it so far. It has just elevated the excitement in the game. Speaking of weapons arsenal, now you get to upgrade the arsenals as well. Both the standard and the defense arsenals are upgradable, but you gotta spend 1,500 coins on it. But if you do have the coins to spend on the weapons arsenal, the arsenal in general, you get better loot, right? Much better loot. So once again, that falls back to the current meta, the Free Fire coin meta. If you are not looting up those coins early game, you're not avoiding engagements, you are not going to be able to access these upgrades on the battlefield. Lack of upgrades, lack of equipment, lack of really solid equipment, this means you're going to get toasted in the final circle. So you really have to play the game the way the game is meant to be played in this current patch, right? You can't be playing the previous patch. You can't be playing the previous methods, the previous, strategies. And if you're stuck in the past, those teams that are currently working in the present state of the game are going to annihilate you, even if you have massive capability, massive technical skills. We've seen that happen to squads who don't move along with the meta, and they kind of get drowned out by the game.
And we've also seen some teams who really, like, despite of knowing the meta, they use it like it's like puzzle pieces. They use it to their advantage. It's very different to what the commonality of everyone else has been using. The masterminds from Southeast Asia, we've seen them use different meta, but it does matches their playstyle. It still is within meta, but they know exactly how to use it in the perfect timing. So, like, it doesn't have to follow the same pattern. Yes, the meta is a guide, but you can use it to your advantage, to your playstyle, and it just gives you more opportunity. So, from what we talk about, there's a lot of advantage as well. Another thing to balance it out, and this is what I love about Free Fire, is they balance it out, they give you the arsenal, the upgrade, but whilst you are upgrading it, it shows you the map. So it gives out your location. The hit list gives out your location. Even the airdrop gives out your location. So if you're not safe. You're not safe at all to loot up. So that's the balance that is needed. Really, if your location is exposed, definitely you will be on your toes. So you still need to get all those weaponries, glue walls, ready while you're looting up.
Yeah, information is king, right? At the end of the day, if you've got a lot of info on the battlefield, you can make a play. You can strategize how you want to approach your opponents. And we do apologize, ladies and gentlemen. We do understand It's a little bit of a delay here before we start these matches, and that's what you guys are here for. You want to see these matches. We're trying our best to get it kicking, get it rolling in a little bit. Just a little bit of a trouble getting a couple of these squads loaded into the lobby. We're going to give them an opportunity. It's just day one, game one. We don't want to pull that opportunity away from anyone because each and every single point will matter, Neptune. Only 18 teams get to qualify into stage 2. Not week 2, mind you, stage 1, which is the group stage, goes on for a total of 6 days over 3 weeks, but only 18 teams will move on into the knockout stage.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, 3 weeks of group stage, knockout stage follows, and for the 3 weekends for the knockout, or for group stage rather, there's plenty of time to put all those things together. Everything that we've been talking about for the past few minutes, these are things that the teams really need to take note of. Not just the teams, but also the viewers out there, because we are encouraging everyone else to join tournaments just like this.
Yeah.
Again, this is a fresh start for USA. This year is a fresh start for USA to go in for a Free Fire Championship or Free Fire Esports. So it's still early. For those of you who are watching there who think that you're missing out, you're not missing out on a lot because you have an advantage. You can study the opponent. You can study like what the team has to offer, the changes of the groupings, as well as the rules. You just need to be updated. And what best way to be updated? Like subscribe to our channel, especially for those watching YouTube. IG, whatever platform that Free Fire USA North America has to offer, make sure that you are subscribed. Because this is one way that you can get updates on what's happening not only in esports but also on what's happening entirely in Free Fire.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, this is still the Free Fire esports is in its state of infancy in the USA, right? If you are not taking advantage of that fact, then I don't want to say you're going to lose out, but bro, you're going to lose out. There's a lot of money on the table. Money that you can use to further your career as a pro player. Make this that life that everybody else literally dreams of. Playing video games for a living. And you know what's the greatest advantage of playing video games for a living? Your parents will get off your backs.
There's no more asking you to pause the game.
No,
Despite of how
stop playing
impossible
the game. They will never say that. It's like, Mama, I could bring back $300,000 US potentially, you know, if I get to the global stage. And Mama's gonna help you. She's gonna buy you a new phone.
So that starts off with like one step. One step would be to pick up the game. For those of you watching, especially who have jumped in, curious on what's happening, this is Free Fire USA Championship. You haven't downloaded the game, go ahead and download it. Whatever platform you are, whatever device you are, it is accessible. It is playable. And I'm really loving that. Like, with Free Fire, it can be played in devices that other games doesn't really give that opportunity. So that's why I'm loving Free Fire for the past few years.
Yeah, man.
It gives me that excitement, not only casting it but also playing the game.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously have a little bit more time, so let me give myself an opportunity to get fired by Garena. Because when the game first came out, when the game first came out, I did not enjoy Free Fire. Okay, there were a lot of things about Free Fire which I felt like, man, you know, I wish it could be better in this way. I wish it could be better in that way. And what I'm so pleased with is the fact that the dev squad, they have not been sleeping on the job. They have been listening to the community. They've been listening to the pro players. They've been listening to the casters as well, trying to refine each and every single aspect of the game, patch after patch after patch. I have never seen a game grow in terms of what it offers out there through excitement, through entertainment, as well as a challenging meta for pro players season after season. I think this is one of those few games that keeps it fresh every single patch update. And I truly admire that, right? Because as a shoutcaster as well, I kind of get bored, man. I mean, if it's the same thing all the time, and the only thing that I see different is the player names are different. Yeah, I probably wouldn't be doing this for so long. We've been doing this for what, 4 or 5 years now, Neptune? Because even in the world of shoutcasting, the game has kept us glued to the screens. It's so exciting to see what these new teams, what these new players can make happen out there with just a little bit of creativity and mastery.
I mean, it's not only that, even the entertainment factor that is added outside of the game, tournaments just like this. It has grown already. There's a moment in time wherein it's very big, and then slowly, because of a lot of things that we don't have control, it died down, but now it keeps growing, and this adds up as well to what you were saying. Like, they listen to the community, they listen to everyone who is looking for that opportunity to be back on the esports, and well, FFUSA is one of those. I mean, they've listened, they've asked for it, and from the beginning of the year, we've seen that for a season. Now we're on the second season in the winter edition, and I'm really looking forward to more years in the USA wherein Free Fire would be back as a household name, and we'll see more opportunity as well from other regions to join the global scene.
I hope the slip of the tongue, which was accidental, becomes something that is a reality. FFWS USA. Can you imagine, Nephew? You know, I hope this is where it is going. But in order to get there, we need more pro squads out of the USA.
Right.
Again, only 3 teams have returned, and even the teams that have returned have had massive shuffles, right? 5 Stars Esports has got a brand new roster. Even the champions T-Rex are coming in here with 2 new players. We know nothing about how they are going to interact out there in these matches. So I hope to see a little bit of consistency from the names that are coming in here once again, and a lot of shocking revelation as to who we should be looking out for in the coming weeks through the performance of these new squads. I mean, new squad basically just means the opportunity to shock the world, the opportunity to shock the casters, and that's exactly what I'm looking for, man.
Yeah, let's see though. Let's see if this is something that would change. Like, throw off the ideation that T-Rex would be grabbing this once again. So let's see. This is something that they can show us. I would love to see the performance of the team right now. And I guess with us back on the desk, us back on the screen, it is about time. We are getting close to the beginning of this day.
Absolutely. We are about to kick the very first lobby off. This is the battle between groups A as well as B. We start things off on Bermuda. Like you said, it's a map where many of these teams, almost all these teams, would definitely know very well. But knowing a map versus dominating a map are 2 very different things on a level like this. It's not like one of your ranked matches where you hop on in there and you're going to face up against a few squads. You literally have 11 other squads who have gone through the exact same in-game qualifiers, gone through the exact same challenges, dominated those challenges, and have arrived here at this stage, potentially at the very same level as your squad. So the battles are not going to be easy. You need to outsmart your opponents. Those rotations need to be tight. The meta needs to be played, and you need to be confident. I hope we see a lot of that confidence out there, you know, because unfortunate unfortunate mistakes early on in the day, it can mess with your mojo big time, Neptune. But I guess thankfully you only have 3 games, so it won't mess up your whole day, I guess.
Well, let's see now. I mean, 3 games, you can you can let one map go and then just follow through. That's what we want to see from the team right here, because like we were talking about the professional level in terms of esports, but that's where mentality as well as your attitude needs to be in as well. Players who are jumping in here, yes, you are new to FFUSA, but the mentality and the attitude still needs to be in a pro level. Yes, one game, one map is already out. Just forget it. Move on to the next. Go with the plan, and then just based on that. That's like basics, but basics that is not too easy, especially from some players who are either they are hungry or they are just very eager and they lose out on like a clear mind at this point.
Yeah, it's very difficult, man. I mean, to stay steady, to stay focused after you make a mistake on a stage like this, where it's really important for you to not make any mistakes. In fact, bring out phenomenal plays. When you do slip up, I think that plays on your own mental state. That could also play on the mental state of the rest of your team members. And this is where teamwork comes into play. If you don't have a tight grouping, if you don't have a tight-knit squad, then probably some infighting is going to get to their heads at a certain point of time, right? So this is where the in-game leader comes into play. This is where the coach, if they have one, comes into play. This is where, the overall mental state of the squad comes into play. Which could just be the advantage that some of these older players have. But of course, age is not necessarily the best gauge for maturity.
I got hit when you talk about age.
I've seen some old people, who couldn't do with a little bit of extra maturity. And I've seen some really mature young kids as well, right? But, generally, with more experience in life, you know exactly what to anticipate, what you could do, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. And fingers crossed, these teams, even if they are not at the age where they've had enough experience, they've got enough people behind the scenes with the right amount of experience guiding them, because I think it adds a lot of value overall there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there is one thing. I mean, we also has been talking about whether it's you lose or you learn. Win or learn, rather. Sorry about that. You
lose or you learn.
Win or you learn. Well, if you lose out, then that's more
You're definitely
difficult.
going to learn.
Yeah, you're definitely going to learn.
I hope so.
That's a thing that teams need to focus on. I know we're going in a much deeper state of like team mentality, because we want to pull out a lot more, not just the game style, not just the meta, but more of how the teams, the players are. The player base needs to be not just in the pro scene, but also when you're playing your rank with the actual like the majority or the general public when it comes to Free Fire. So that definitely helps you. If you're cool, calm, and collected, it will help you get those wins.
Absolutely, man. If you're cool, calm, and collected, you're going to be able to get those wins, especially on these three maps that Groups A and B are going to be playing on: Bermuda, Nextera, Solara. Are they going to be a full-on tenor perfect in these rounds? Are they going to be around 6, 7? You got to figure it out. Obviously, we expect every single team to be at their very best, but we don't know if or not that it's going to be the case. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we do apologize for the delay. We are going to be kicking off game number 1 shortly. The players have already loaded themselves into the lobby, and we are about to hit the goal line a little bit right fast. So exactly what sort of chaos we have
And it's a good start as well. I mean, some fans out there are not surprised that we're going to see Bermuda as our first map, but it's a good start because, again, USA doesn't have that much experience yet in the esports scene. This is the second season that we have in FFUSC. So it's good to start in a much familiar map. Later on, that's where things would be, I would say, want to see it a little bit crazier, the randomized map, or probably starts off with Solara, a much newer map. But for now, we're going to let this fly. Bermuda in the first game, we've already set all the expectation that we have. Whether it's hot drops and then it dies down towards a 10 to 15 minute mark, that's where all the engagement would be happening. That's where the teams who are prepared for like a looting phase, that's where they would be using up all those resources to their full potential to get all those elimination plus that booyah.
Yeah, man, no doubt at all. It's going to be a lot of computations involved in order for them to figure out exactly what sort of equation gets them to the very final circle, as well as the booyah. But one thing we know for sure, it's going to take a lot of effort on standby still to kick off game number 1 here at Bermuda. And the good news is you do not have to wait any longer. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, survivors of all ages, we hope you are ready because the flight path is absolutely kind, and Bullseye is exactly where the bullseye is for the drop spot here. High tier loot zone, and very early on we see E7 move towards that.
Yeah, E7 Empire already heading into Bullseye. The flight path from Observatory going into Kotatua, passing through Sentosa. A little bit of hot drop as well happening in Hangar, where 2 teams will be meeting up with each other. So we're going to go in there. Clock Tower as well. ANX, who hopefully is not anxious enough to go and fight against another team.
Yeah.
But Chino King right now, not so much of weapons once we go in a hot drop. That's what we want in an early phase just like this.
Oh, Chino King hopping on in. Mac-10 in hand, turns around. That's his own team member, so that's not going to be much for him at all. First blood in here as well. Brian 444 gets the first strike. And ANX walking away with 2 early eliminations. The other 2 survivors, though, on the side of their opponents, able to just sneak away real quickly. Nash might just be that distraction that could keep the squad in the game as the rest of ANX circle around Nash. That was a terrible hiding spot.
Chino King right now, I mean, being the support with that Cassie, he is going aggressive. And this, like, this would be a deadly combination. If your support is aggressive together with your rusher, then he definitely knows how to move around to get all those information as well as to put in all those damage. But we also saw a few teams being eliminated, and it seems like we have 1 team already out of competition. So 11 teams remaining at this point in the first 2-minute mark, and let's see where Anexados will be heading from Clock Tower.
ANX 3 eliminations. Absolutely pleased with themselves for sure. Eric finding VSK knock off screen as well. Nash brings Nashito back in the squad. There's one team that I'm not looking forward to cast at all. They've got 4 players with almost similar names. Supreme 2, Supremo 2. I am not looking forward to a team fight, bro.
Well, let's see. Supreme already showing up as a Mobility King, so it seems like they moved a lot already. But Anexados, at this point, might be seeing Nashito. And, well, Nashito and another one will be moving away. So this is good news for that team right now. But for Anexados, I think they got a whiff of where the opponents are, will be going. But FAQ was able to go and the rush, but unfortunately he has been taken down. So let's see for the side of CL if they'll be able to fight back against this team in Factory.
Cuba Libre taking on a squad that they might not be able to contain. Riptide Rhythm breaks down the defenses. And Chino King, not the king in that fight, but the backup from afar. And Brian is not going to allow him to step away with that one easy. Finds another. Brian on fire. And he is just not missing at this point for ANX, who's been on a roll since we started.
Yeah, Brian is not just the brains, but also the bronze in this battle. 3 elimination already for his side. 2 more, 1 for X-King as well as Chino King. But seems like Brian would be the emperor at this point after that that performance. But they will be the elimination leader on fire at this point with 5. And rest of the teams will just be scrambling from outside. Now we're seeing Monster as well as Mamba going against Chino as well as Jiu or Gui. And Gui Bot, if I'm not mistaken, another player from this side needs to be prepared. There goes the grenade, and the rush, and Asta has been taken out with a Trogon in hand, but unfortunately, they still have to deal with 2 more.
A beautiful play coming on through here. Now Mamba trying to make sure he pulls the squad in together, but the Bolt Maker whips out a great lightning strike just right above them. Chino and Gui looking for yet another Monster Godly, trying to get away as quickly as possible. Vending Machine just a few meters ahead of him. One shot finding the connection. Revival might not be possible here just around the corner. And a timely revival. Pussycat on the way back. The job is done. Monster Godly, you can stop running away now. Gui bot helps stop him right in his tracks, but the job of bringing Pussycat back into the game will keep the team alive.
Yeah, the dream is alive for the team. It's more of the drop spot that you need to worry about. But for Galaxy Gaming, 5 eliminations similar to what we've seen earlier on Nexados. So it seems like we are, well, we have vision on who would be the eliminators in the early game. But the latter game is where everything really matters. For Cheat, they will need to back away. A few players from their teams would be rocking in or running in to them on Clock Tower. So great position being done by this team.
Shout out to everyone watching online. If you are joining us on the YouTube channel, Garena Free Fire-North America, please don't forget to say hi in the comments section. A couple of players out here saying hi, but getting wiped on the ground instantaneously. MVP Caesar, it's a 1v2. Watson's rocking right in there with the Drogon. And he will find MVP. Can he find a double for himself? Opportunity. Caesar steps out. Time to pull down, but up against a battalion of ZE players. That was just not possible.
Well, ZU's Gaming, if the ideation, or if the assumption that we have is on point, ZU's really has brought in some information, some aggression as well, coming from that previous season. One of the players might have been a part of that competition, and we were seeing based on the position as well as how they treat each of the teams or each engagement that they are going against. E7, last time we saw them, was dropping into the high tier loot area, now outside of blue, trying to find their way in the next phase of the circle. But you know how it is. If you're a little bit too late, you might be gate capped, but I guess they drop in a little bit safer in this part.
Shout out to Tylee in our YouTube chat.
Hey.
Welcome back. She's waiting for the final 3 games as her team Flex will be in action. Let's see if or not they can flex some muscles and their domination over the competition a little bit later on. 10 more teams left in here. 7 minutes in, 40 players. As the circle will drag us all the way to its factory, Porchinok, Mars Electric. A lot of space still to play with around here. But the position of the final circle, where do you take your bet? Do you want to sit in Mars Electric? Do you want to go to factory, take that high ground advantage early for yourselves? But it's the toss of a coin. You get to a spot a little bit too early and the circle moves away from you. It's going to be pretty challenging to reposition.
Oh, David right now in a little bit of a challenge. Pablo, let's see if he'll be able to fight back and probably give him a chance to either pick up or revive. There goes a shot, but out in the open, AC-80 plus a launch pad. Great getaway into the vending machine. And there's a tight movement coming from Pablo, but it is quite good. He can bring his teammates back. 1,200 on the coins right now. And the rest of the teams just need to follow through. They have kept their distance, making sure that they will not be caught off guard, and they might be able to take down White as well as they fly through.
Yeah, brilliant reposition coming on through here. So that revival onto David 444, not impossible, but John B now down on the ground. Pick up Watson. Instantaneous response with that glue wall. Winchester level 2 in hand. Looking for a great defensive spot, but it's about to become a 3-way explosion here at Clock Tower.
Let's see if they will be able to get away with this. And Wasson has been taken out by Jeff. Jeff actually taking down John Baby. And I think I remember that name from a previous season.
Yeah.
Now let's see if E7 will be able to continue this. 5 elimination already, but the Blues closing in. 2 teams going against them. And ZU's right now with 8. John Baby already down. Pablo already down. Only left would be David and Wasson, who has just been revived. And hopefully they can get position away from Clock Tower into the next phase of the circle.
Yeah, great play by Pablo on the revival, but I'm not sure that was worth the sacrifice. I think it was played a little prematurely. took himself out in the equation, brings Watson back in, but Watson's going to be limited on his loot, and he has just lost whatever he has as well. So overall, the squad is going to be pretty tortured. E7, on the other hand, still on a roll. The E7 Empire being built right here on this first game now.
Well, let's see though. I mean, Supremo has been taken down, a team that you just mentioned earlier, but Supreme managed to go in for another revive. So if I'm not mistaken, that's like the second full revive for that team. And hopefully they can find their footing on the next phase of the circle, because you don't want to be that team who's lost a lot of loot, lost a lot of momentum as well in a mid-game, and still has no fighting chance towards the end. So they need to stack up on the points elimination as well as that placement. But Anexados, last time we saw them going into battle, very aggressive. They died down a little bit, but they have a chance right now in this phase of circling factory. But they will need to move, not so much of breathing space for them, especially when that blue comes in.
So you're telling me that Team SNPT that has Supremo, Supremo 2, Supreme 2 is not looking supreme in the first game of the day? How? Okay, all right. There's a tree between them. So I was like, how could you miss that shot, X-King? So VSK in hand. And this is the kind of position I was talking about, right? High ground on factory. But this is the thing. They took a bet, ANX, on this factory site, and the circle moves away from them. Now they got to make that open road rotation into Mars Electric, and this is going to be risky. So a little bit of gatekeeping action I do anticipate in a little bit here. ANX might just be tortured, but look at the number of teams that we have still alive on the 11th minute mark. This is getting wild, and as we approach the situation, Supreme SNPT just got a double revival again.
I mean, most revive would be taken by SNPT. So let's see if they can bring that elimination now. Speaking of elimination, 10 elimination already on the E7 and 9 right there brings in not 9, but their 11th TTK being taken down. And we're down to 9 teams remaining. So I guess that's his name. Like giving a prediction on how many teams will be fighting on the 12-minute mark.
Absolutely, and E7 out in the open, but a brilliant rotation in using those blue walls. They're safe and sound inside of the warehouse. Supremo 2 trying to stab them in the back. SNPT looking to get cheeky here, but Supremo 2 is not looking supreme in the situation. The defreeze will take away his life. White with just the connection. And that would just be too easy. Whips out the M590 in a split second as he carries that Winchester along, finding the connection with both guns. That's the kind of mechanical skills we want to see at a stage like this.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, whatever it is, and 9 in there. Sees Eliezer just laying around. And let's see if he can get another one. Again, you did mention about mechanical skills. This is where it's very crucial. Everything is very close, and movement is needed, or quick movement is needed. And as they rush in E7, seems like they're slowly building the empire, seeing one on the horizon, but the blue will not be favoring them at this point. There are a lot of teams in the next phase of the circle, so they need to either take down the ones ahead or go in for a huge flank. And 9 right now, almost being shut down.
Crucial pickup onto HDP there, because getting eliminated in a situation like this, you can still recover on a revival, but with so many players, so many teams in this final compound, it just looks like you'll just be shot right out of the air if in case you do hit that revival. Speaking of which, though, the Empire is about to crumble. Final player, 9 alive and kicking, brings out the inhaler, but barely could take a breath as the Empire comes crashing down. ANX has taken over. Less eliminations, though, so they got to gear up a couple of notches.
Yeah, plenty of chances for them. 8 teams still alive, 7 teams to eliminate if in case they can go the distance. And their next challenge would be team number 9. Anexados goes in for the flank. A little bit of surprise hit on one side to distract the opponent, but seems like they have those grenade launcher ready and prepared. Go right now, topping up his HP, but they have position already where the opponents are. But unfortunate for them, there's no shooting them onto that wall unless they have an FGL. They could have at least damaged their opponent.
See what they pull away with this play here, because they can avoid all the engagements And it seems like at the very edge of the circle, they spot a couple of players right behind them, taking the play outside the circle. And they do not have to doubt themselves at all. Team Booster in activation, getting a little bit of damage sustained outside the blue to find the annihilation, pull away a couple of extra elimination points, and totally dominate the left-hand side of this minimap. But they'll have to move on in. The final circle has arrived, and if you want to fight the blue at this point of time and you get involved in a little bit of a tussle, it would be the end.
Let's see, though, if this will be the end, but we are seeing teams like T-Rex barricading themselves in one of the compound, and Wason might be caught off guard. Fortunately, the Blues closing in. The pick up for Pablo is good. They can also go for the flank, but they are heading into T-Rex, being chased by the rest of the teams. Azukar, Nash being taken down. Not a good way to go. You're the hunter, but now they are the ones hunted and eliminated.
Oh, SNPT, Cuba Libre, both annihilated back to back. Now Galaxy Gaming with an opportunity to surprise the world as Anexados gets annihilated as well. Galaxy Gaming overtaking them, but with the least amount of win rate potential here. 3 players still alive and kicking, and the champions of our summer season still alive in this lobby. They've stayed silent for long enough, with player JK pulling away nothing so far. But this is the kind of consistency we want to see, Neptune.
Yeah, let's see, though. I mean, doesn't have the chance just yet on long range, with player JK can easily switch weapon and get all those points. But as you can see, they're just backing away, slowly inching into the next possible circle. And the shift is still favoring anyone from this team. But there goes the takedown by Pablo onto Chino. Bolan has been taken down and eliminated as well. Unfortunately, it seems like one team will be taken out. Zeus and T-Rex up against each other, but T-Rex still has an advantage.
Yeah, brilliant play here from Zeus. Shots from up top, high ground advantage, Riptide Rhythm breaking down the defenses. Open line of sight gets them that one knock, but the monster truck slowed down by a double glue wall, instantaneously ejecting. The players don't want to mess around with T-Rex just yet. It is a 4v2, looking more and more impossible for Team Zeus.
Two players remaining, and Darius right now. Winchester up close and personal. That packs a punch. Hills up a little bit. The blue will be closing in a bit, and there goes the takedown. John Baby as well as David, and the defending champions grabs the first booyah.
The reigning defending champions T-Rex Gaming showing us that, yeah, we had a little bit of a re-roster, but that does not change the dominating play style of the squad. Now, surprisingly, player JK does not walk away with the numbers here as far as eliminations are concerned, but it did not matter, because at the end of the day, the team that scores the booyah is still T-Rex. And if they're doing this even without player JK waking up in the competition just yet, man, I don't want to be these other squads.
Yeah, what more? Player JK picks up a weapon, sees you on his sights, and starts eliminating you from afar. But
yeah.
It's more of Bolakar and Darius who has been given that opportunity, as well as put in, because of the frontliners in there and the passive approach. It's more like they're studying their opponents. And you know how hunters are. They are quiet in the bush, and the moment that given that opportunity, they go pounds. And pounds they did, grab that booyah, won't be surprised if they can get the next one.
I mean, no doubt at all, if they continue to play like... This is that secret sauce that we have been highlighting time and time again, not in one region, but multiple regions that we cast for Neptune. The play style of staying silent, staying patient, playing your looting game, looking for those coins, looking for those vending machines, upgrading all of your weapons as much as possible, getting every bit of defense layered in there through the West and those helmets, and then hopping on into a battle. And that's something that T-Rex did so well in this matchup. Not a lot of numbers, again, leading into that final circle, but towards the end, they showed that focus in the earlier parts of the game, not hunting eliminations, will do you justice towards the end.
Let's see, though. Let's see if there's something that we are going to see more on the upcoming map right now as we look at the final battle. Replay of final moment where survivability has been taken by T-Rex. Even when a lot of teams are surrounding them, they just know when to choose their fight. And the moment that they get that knockdown, 3v4 situation, easy for them to go for a rush, but they didn't risk it. They just went in against another guy or one player, and then that slowly divide and conquer. And T-Rex is playing it to the T.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, you see the maneuvering of these players around these glue walls, just constantly taking that hop up, guessing exactly where the opponents might be, trying to check behind those glue walls as well. But what's more impressive is the timing of those glue walls and the accuracy of placements of these glue walls. Instantaneous response whenever they come across their opponents. And that is the mechanical skill aspect of T-Rex gaming that we have not seen anybody outplay just yet. In a game of Free Fire, speed is really not everything, but a lot. And that's something T-Rex definitely showed they have in this matchup.
Yeah, see, I mean, there's a lot that T-Rex has shown already. And again, they're playing it with the meta. They're playing to their advantage. Not too aggressive, making sure that they are prepared in the final moment, putting themselves in the final circle as well. Wherein Anexados could have done that. They started off a little too hot, but towards the mid, the rotation was a little bit late, so they were caught off guard. With 10 teams, if I'm not mistaken, 10 or 9 teams still on that third or fourth phase, it's very difficult to find your position. Compared to T-Rex, who got in there early, was cautious enough, but also, if needed be, they can fight back.
Yeah, no doubt at all. It's a little bit easier in the current meta. Not absolutely possible, but a little easier to spot out other teams who may be dropping into the same compound as you. It's a little easier to control your trajectory on these landings as you head out of that initial flight. So, you know, no excuses for a team that takes a full-on hot drop up against another squad, because you get to maneuver yourself to a certain degree and avoid the initial part of the engagement. But what do you do after you get caught in a situation like that? Do you back away? You play recovery before you continue on in this matchup? Or do you give in to the temptation of looking for extra points early on in the game? We saw a few teams fall victim to that bait, looking for early eliminations, and they found early eliminations being served up to them, and they're back in the lobby. Fingers crossed game 2 will be a little better for them.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, there's a huge difference as well when we look at the map. Bermuda is already out. T-Rex managed to grab that Booyah, and it's phenomenal. It's a perfect example on how you treat a map like Bermuda. Nextera, though, there's a huge difference. Not so much of, there's plenty of space, but not so much of open space. Plenty of small compounds to work with, and the elevation as well can give player JK that vantage point to go in for elimination. So let's see if they can. Positions like a museum, Grab Labs, Intellect Center definitely would be taken by a lot of teams.
The map of the future, Nextera. What will we get in a map that serves up so many of these defensive spots? You've got to play your close range engagements very well on this map. Yes, obviously those snipers are going to come in clutch as well. Lots of high ground advantage that the snipers can take. But this is the kind of map that will also potentially force you to play a split play, where you're going to have your long-range engages a little bit further away compared to the duo of your close-range rushes running around with those M590s. Those shotguns are going to be absolutely essential. But what's going to be even more important is that the fact that you have to potentially split off into a 2-to-2 buddy system as opposed to sticking together as a full squad of 4. This is where we get to see teams kind of push themselves up to another level, see if they can kind of sustain themselves without moving into battle as a full-on squad.
Yeah, let's see though. There's a lot of tactics that can be used right here, and also that there's a lot of potential hiding spot that they can utilize in this point. But there's so little that we can talk about in this game because there's like similar to what we've seen in Bermuda. We didn't expect that there will be only a few teams towards the final circle. Yes, a lot has managed to survive with the familiarity that they have, but I guess we can talk about that later on because Nextera is here from Intellect Center towards Deca Square, and between Deca Square and Mudside, teams are dropping in, and seems like a hot drop will be happening in Intellect Center.
Absolutely, man. Intellect Center. Well, the intellectual ones you would have hoped to take this hop on in there, but too much of intellect in one spot can definitely serve up some great wars. But is it going to be a battle of words, or is it going to be a battle that is fought with those active skills and a couple of awesome loot that you pick up off of this ground here in a decent 4v4? At this point of time, it looks like neither one is backing away from this battle. Both squads want to commit. And David finding the first spot. Brian losing just a tad bit of life, but he's not even involved in this team fight. He's just a scout for another. All right, three-way. Let's go, man.
Yeah, I mean, T-Rex would be in here as well, and Bulacan and Putin already in the front line. AC-80 on the hands of Bulacan, but on the other side, annihilation is happening. All reds, all elimination. Now, let's see if that would conclude, because it seems like there's still a lot more fighting chance for them. For G, well, 1v4. Jose, 1v4, almost being taken out. Managed to bring himself to a revive and top up his HP. But the battle and the threat is still there. Putin being taken down. Pablo for that point.
Yeah, John B, the save is going to be possible here, all thanks to the time turner, as well as the elevation that is a disadvantage for the opponents here. High ground indeed on their side. Grenade does not find the connection onto Austin. And the rotation round the left-hand side. Pablo 98 looking for a better spot here on the flank. Gui Gui. Zipline play will not go his way as the Pirates get into a little bit of a encounter here. Chinon tagged up from afar. He loses his own blue wall as he rushes through it with the awesome skill that Oscar provides in this matchup. And that valiant dash not used in an aggressive manner, but in a defensive one. Although I don't think he expected to break down his own blue wall.
That's what I think. I mean, it's counterintuitive, but unfortunately, 787 Esports being eliminated early. Zenox right now down for the count. Now, Galaxy Gaming, we've seen them try to fight back earlier. Not so much of not so much of points. Chicago team would be taken out as well. So a different map other than Bermuda brings in this hot engagement from the early on. So I guess they would take advantage of this. Almost a takedown on Zai.
Nicely done, and the pressure played by Gui Gui Bot on that high ground advantage with the Riptide Rhythm as well. Rips away yet another life from the opponents. Galaxy's looking really strong as of this point of time, and T-Rex Gaming dropping by to see if or not they can ruin their gameplay early on. It's going to be that Rebel Rush brought in Boltmaker as well to just rain down some lightning strikes on the opponent.
Oh, let's see. Up in the lightning, firefall from Darius right now after that loss from Pudding in one of the areas of the map. They are being cautious, but if they can zip line towards the other side, get in better position, Faithfulness will be taken down. But I don't think they'll be risking it, especially when the Blues closing in. And Gui Gui will try to go in for a flank, spotted by Bulacan, AK-47, but still managed to hide out on the pillar.
So T-Rex Gaming, high ground, edge of the next zone. Not a lot of importance or pressure to rotate here, but they're going for the eliminations, looking for these early points. They want to make this into a massive game. Let's see if or not they falter or succeed with that endeavor. Team Zeus, on the other hand, great rotations round. All players looking for just one Extra point. Pablo almost walked away with that double Riptide Rhythm, breaking down the defenses. Azuk pulls out the time turner, and that was a perfect save. But was that premature? The rest of his team members nowhere near him, and Azuk is just going to be that distraction as Shinigamis get annihilated by the only player on the side of white.
Well, Azukar at this point will not be that sweet anymore. He was just running through the wall, spotted by one of the opponents, and there's no way out. For Zeus, they have 8 elimination a little bit like early into this game, and you did remember that they were part of top 2 in the previous one, second previous game. So I'm loving their movement, early aggression, and then finding their final circle can like show that they have a lot of points towards the end.
So early on in this matchup, 3 teams eliminated already. So very different from what we had on Bermuda earlier on. Many survivors up until the 12-13 minute mark. This time round, we have lesser to deal with, which is going to be great, right? Because you're going to have usually many teams alive and kicking within Nextera as we kind of squeeze these circles tighter and tighter. I prefer seeing a final zone with lesser squads, just so that there's no element of chaos, right? Because when you've got so many teams, so many players in there, you just do not know where those shots are coming from. You don't know where to look, where to defend, where to attack, and that just turns out into absolute pandemonium, which is probably not the best way to see exactly which team is the very best when it comes to positioning. That being said, if a team is able to survive through all of that chaos, it's equally as impressive.
Yeah, let's see if they can bring that on. But, well, not so much of engagement in the 6-minute mark. So they have 4 minutes until some of the teams will be triggered. Zeus right now seeing T-Rex. And, well, not quite sure if that's trigger discipline or just a misclick or no click at all. But almost a takedown by Pablo if he managed to get that shot.
Yeah, big mistake here by Team Zeus, pulling out the Bolt Maker in a situation where they're not gonna even tickle T-Rex Gaming, who used the weapons arsenal as the perfect layer of defense, didn't even need to deal with the snipes off of Team Zeus, pulls out a jump pad, quick reposition, and hasta la vista, we'll deal with you guys later. Again, brilliant maneuvering from T-Rex Gaming. They just shrugged off Zeus. They didn't even care that they were being shot at.
Well, I mean, that's one thing. They have the confidence. They know the plan as well. If you understand what needs to be done, no fights just yet until you reach a certain point. That's what we've seen from T-Rex. That's what we've seen with player JK right now. Riptide Rhythm. Pablo with a VSK still. That hot onto the next glue wall. Smart move from player JK.
What a flank around. Player JK trying to disable Zeus by taking out Pablo 98. AC 80 in the hands of Pablo. Glue walls dwindling down. Pablo only has 3 glue walls left on his side. His Riptide Rhythm, Skylar on cooldown. He doesn't have much utilities to work around with. The rest of his team members on the side of Team Zeus on the other hand. It's a fair fight 3v3. Bolakan almost down, but Darius takes himself out. A big boost here for Team Zeus as the team annihilates their own chances. And as player JK is the only final survivor left in here, he can't mess around with Pablo. And Pablo with the final nail on the coffin. Zeus strikes down the reigning defending champions, T-Rex Gaming.
Zeus right now, well, we were questioning about that Bolt Maker or that lightning. It seems like they are using the power of Zeus to their favor. Not all that, also bringing themselves a little bit higher. They got more elimination compared to T-Rex earlier. They were #1 after game number 1, and now since T-Rex is out of picture, they can grab another spot. And we're seeing that aggression from Zeus right now. I'm loving storyline.
That was a huge misplay from Darius, if I'm not mistaken, with the M79. The grenade launcher clips himself. He knocks himself down to the ground, and that was pretty much game done and dusted, right? Because onto their opponents with the grenades instead, it would have been Team Zeus losing a couple of players, or at the very least taking splash damage off of those nades, which would have made the job for the rest of their players very, very easy. But it just wasn't the case. One moment of misplay, And Team Zeus did not think twice. They took advantage. JK in that very final sequence of action puts an end to T-Rex Gaming right there and then itself. So no revivals coming on through. Not a massive game, but a decent game for T-Rex Gaming in Bermuda earlier on. But now, this is the place where the rest of these teams here that struggled initially can make a massive comeback. This is the game where Zeus can launch themselves up to the #1 spot on the leaderboard by the end of this match.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, seems like they are on point right now. 12 elimination and still plenty of opportunity. Wason shot in the BSK, but S4L. And there goes the payback. Pablo 98 together with David 444. Just praying and praying that they will make that hit. Unfortunately, not only a tree, but also a glue wall. Saves CL or Koopa Libre, and another hit from S4 at this point. And if they can jump in, they can confirm those elimination. A team that we're expecting to get that booyah might be annihilated by right here.
Annihilation on standby. Cuba Libre can't do much to defend themselves all out in the open, and a triple annihilation. Watson's on fire. M590 in hand, Cuba Libre down, and we've got 6 more squads, and ZE, Team Zeus, 16 eliminations. This is gonna be a massive round for them, especially with their high ground advantage Pablo holds.
Yeah, I mean, massive elimination already from Zeus. They've beaten their game #1 record with 15 elimination. Now, there's still plenty of targets to spare. As you can see, SNPT, well, no revive from the team because they're not going in for an engagement, but they might be seeing Zedox almost a takedown right here. Goes for the flank. Connection with electrotherapy saves one of the players, but Speng will need to make this shot land, but unfortunately, it doesn't damage the team.
Oh, yeah. And I'm very happy that you actually brought up the fact that they broke their own record from Bermuda, because in Bermuda it was still very impressive, right? They came in second, they had 15 strong eliminations, they just didn't have the numbers going into that final circle, but they show us here that they've got the consistency in a lobby like this to find those dominating eliminations. So I'm looking forward to seeing exactly what Zeus can do on that recovery shortly. SNPT, on the other hand, the only team here with the Supremo 2, at least we got Espeng this time round. But let's see if or not they'll be able to wiggle their way out of this one, because right in front of them, 2 squads are waiting, a little bit of open ground that they have to rotate through. And at the very top, X-King is going to be a pain. He's got the VSK in hand, waiting for someone to make a mistake here.
Yeah, a mistake would be running into the open, no glue walls, and even a glue wall. One glue wall cannot save you, especially with the elevation that he has. But, well, X-King already moved in towards the next. Pirate 7, unfortunately, will be taken down. We're down to 5 teams remaining. Position of the team would be crucial right now to get that booyah, but that would depend on next phase of the circle as well. And it seems like those in this area, together with SNPT, would be out of contention for next phase. So they need to move fast. They need to weave through all those buildings.
E7, 10 eliminations. Revival at this point of time, just not possible. Chinon, great rotation, but that's the distraction. Great landing with the glue wall here, protects the rest of his team members, gets a little bit of extra time to recover as well. But David 444 trying to get the job done here, has got an opportunity. A124 popped at a timely manner, at a timely distance as well. So this is perfect. The rest of the opponents disabled, and the flank coming through from John B gets a double. M590 annihilation squad in combination with David's A124 pop. Zeus is obliterating everybody else. 21 eliminations, and they are not done yet.
Not done, not slowing down. Into next phase of the circle, and 4 teams to take down. Now, let's see who will be the target. 9
Oh, my.
being shot through the window, through the wall. C-Speng go in for the jump, and the rest of the teams follow through. It's a good thing that they pull up that glue wall. Otherwise, John Baby would say goodbye, good night, baby, to the squad.
Absolutely mind-blowing gameplay. 22 eliminations already. Yet another knock coming on through. Watson finding Espeng. An annihilation squad is what you can call Team Zeus. Truly the gods of Free Fire at this point of time in FFUSC. 26 eliminations. Not pulling a single stop. Not even a comma in the sentence. ANX, the next one online to be annihilated. 63% potential win rate here. Going up to 74. 31 eliminations. And 33 is where it will end, as E7 has no chance in hell. Zeus just set the record here in FFUSC.
Set a record of 33 elimination plus the Booyah points and the highest score that we've seen so far. When we thought that first game was awesome, this game was phenomenal.
Holy Zeus, what a play that was. And that brilliant combination, David 444, A124 on the pop. I have not seen such a timely teamwork with the A124 in a long time. And these boys, they got it, man. Watson, John B, Pablo 98, every single player from Team Zeus Esports definitely put in the hustle and walked away with a massive game. A total of 24 points collected just in game number 1. 24 points includes 9 placement points. They only had 15 eliminations. This time round, they broke the total point collection in that first game purely through eliminations alone. 33 eliminations, not even a single point watching this highlight of their gameplay, because this was the tail end of their matchup. They were on fire throughout this whole game. The whole match is a highlight reel for Team Zeus, nephew.
Yeah, they are on fire, bringing in the lightning to the game. And I'm really loving this turn of events, well, for Zeus, but not for the other teams. 45 points just from that match. Highest that we have seen so far in in all the games that they that we've seen, that we've shoutcasted. The highest that we've seen for one specific game.
I mean, what are we even watching? Zeus did not come here to play. They came here to obliterate. They came here to show everybody else, not who the pro squad is, who the gods of Free Fire are. And damn, man, what a way to walk the talk. What a way to give a little bit of justice here to the name and the branding that they have for their squad. 45 massive points. One game, not even including the 24 that they picked up in. I do not know how you do that.
It's a good thing that they only have 3 games for one day. Otherwise, they're going to bring it on. 6 games, we don't care. We're going to leave you in the dust. So I guess it's a good chance for the teams as well to recover after that. But let's see if there's something that we can do right now to see a downfall of Zeus, or probably see if there's any change later on.
69 points off of 2 games. It's just impossible to match up to if you do not have the mastery that Team Zeus has. And, it was all about consistency. That's exactly what we wanted to see out here. We wanted to also see ourselves surprised by squads out here. I think we tick both boxes out there. Zeus clearly shows that they've got mastery. They clearly show that they have got the consistency in play as well. But of course, it's not just about these 2 matches. We're going to take a quick short break. In 10 minutes, we come back with a lot more action in store for all of you guys. So don't go anywhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. This is a Free Fire USA Championship 2025 Winter Edition. And we've seen two massive games for Zeus Gaming, and it seems like they are going away with it. But we're not going away. We are back. I'm Neptune the Gentleman Garcia, joined by the one and only Mustacho AJ.
What a pleasure, what an honor it is to shoutcast this tournament, to see legends being born, to see teams creating such a legacy that is not going to be forgotten so easily, that's going to be talked about for a bloody long time. 45 points. What a bomber, Neptune. They literally almost swept the whole lobby. How about that?
Yeah, I mean, it helps with the revive as well, the position that they are taking, as well as the patience for each engagement. I mean, Zeus Esports, they're not too aggressive, but when it comes to elimination, they know how to choose their battle. But right now, we're going to give a shout out to Zeus Gaming's David 444. And using that Zane as an active skill, he was deadly in the front line. And also, he is the bomber of the team, Antonio plus A124 and that Tiva. So, I mean, I'm really loving how David is putting the team together to give massive eliminations, massive points for this team.
I'm just a little confused about the active skill, but if I'm not mistaken, David was playing on that A124 earlier. Remember, we saw him go in there for the mad rush. He disabled his opponents. The rest of them came in there for the eliminations. What's amazing is the fact that this guy had a role to play in 15 eliminations. How wild is that? 4,924 on the damage, and he is not even the sniper of the squad. Chucked a ton of grenades at his opponents. The active skills being played in a timely manner is what enables the rest of your team members. If you're playing the A124, but you have got zero communication skills, if you've got zero teamwork running through your veins, you're going to mess it up for your squad. He didn't. Exactly. He made the plays. He made it possible. And I'm at a loss for words, because that was one of the most perfect team plays we have seen in a long time, Neptune.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, A124 pops off. You only have 20 seconds to make it work. Not to worry about any active skills. And again, you did mention about the timing communication. That's very crucial for a team just like Zeus Gaming or Zeus Gaming. And this is one thing that we want to see even more, not just for this team, because again, I don't want to see Zeus Gaming take it away just all across the 3 maps. Because they were #1, despite of T-Rex grabbing that Booyah in Bermuda, they were #1 in terms of elimination.
It's a map where we've seen teams on the world level falter, teams on the world level make a couple of unforced errors out there. It's just the way the map is, only because not many teams have found full mastery over it. And even if you do find mastery over it, something more complicated than the zip lines have been thrown into the game, right?
Oh, yeah.
Now you gotta look out for these glide rails, which helps your opponents, #1, reposition and invade your space very quickly. #2, get away from you in a sticky situation and probably set up an ambush for you and your whole squad on the opposite end. You go chasing one guy, you see 3 people waiting with him on the opposite. Yeah, we've seen pretty crazy plays coming off of this map. But what's going to be crazier than that is a couple of hot drops as usual. This is what we expect here, or not day 1, but week 1, like you rightfully pointed out, Neptune. And we get blessed with that at Eco Drain as well as Casa Vista earlier on.
We're loving how it is. Windmill as well being taken by TTK. And Jeff, well, we've seen the performance from Jeff. We're not quite sure on this early engagement. Scar on his hand, but 2 against him. Asta almost being taken down. Mini Uzi switch, but it doesn't work. And there goes the finisher. So 3 elimination already for a TTK. And I'm loving this turnaround. I guess some of the teams really love this Solara map. They've spent so much time to study their rotation, but not Chicago team. Twice already. They have been eliminated first, no points gathered, and I'm just worried about this team. Hopefully, by tomorrow, we'll see a different phase of Chicago team.
Yeah, I mean, if there's anything I know about Chicago, it's full of fighters, and it's not looking like that right now through the gameplay. But I guess there are a bunch of livers as well, man. So we gotta wait for Chicago to wake up in the competition. But Shinigamis, 4 eliminations early on, it looks like they are ready to pummel and show the world that they can match up to what T-Rex and Zeus has given in their matchup so far. But of course, still a little too early to say if or not they will be able to pull that off. I mean, so far, they haven't been having the best of runs. 3 points in Bermuda, 4 points in Solara. Shinigami, they're struggling a little.
Yeah, I mean, the Death Gods seems like they are worshipping death so much that they are in there most of the time. So let's see if they'll be able to get away from that, bring themselves in a little bit of redemption. But E7 managed to push themselves on second place, but unfortunately the curse continues.
I have to say this since you brought that up, right?
Yeah.
It's only the ones who are so close to death. The Shinigamis themselves. I think they shouldn't be so attached to that. They should detach from their name. Boltmaker, though, wonder who pulled this one out. I've made an official request for Garena to show us who's the one that whipped out the Boltmaker, because in battles like this, sometimes it's just so difficult to understand exactly who is being tortured. What a time turner. Ooh, timely manner. Pun intended. John B down on the ground, though. Watson can't get out. And he's got to get clipped. Beautiful flank around by the squad. And this is exactly what Eric needs right now. The rest of his team members picking up the slack. And Menor is on another level, Nep.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Wason was off at that moment. Now let's see if they'll be able to put him back. A revive on Jeff. And there goes Mini Uzi. Turnaround Menor will be Major at this point. And
that's the most uncle pun I've ever heard, bro. Like, that's the most uncle thing, bro.
You know how I roll, bro.
I know, man. I know. GTK out early. And this is not the first time, unfortunately, in Bermuda. 3 points, 7 points in Solara. TTK needs to wake up. Unfortunately, they'll be sleeping for the rest of the day. This is the last match that they can play. Later on, it's groups C and D. So for teams that have been struggling at the bottom, it's now or never till tomorrow.
Well, let's see. I mean, major changes need to be done by the teams who are being eliminated right now on third map. And good story is, or I don't know if it's a good, but a different story would be is they will be playing in a different map. So strategy-wise, if they will be planning it out, they can use it by next week. But for tomorrow, well, there's a lot more that they need to work on. And VODs would help, or watching out for the rest of the teams would help as well. For Cupa Libre, well, they're not getting that free elimination. Only one to their name, and Asukar, the sweet, sweet guy in here, who the final survivor from the previous map, is the one bringing the team together.
Let's see if or not we get a little fight. E7 Empire. Potential clash here up against Cuba Libre. Zeus, on the other hand, looking for just one victim to torture. This is a fantastic setup. Look at David and his reposition, just buying time for himself until the rest of his team members circle around. Watson doesn't take 2 seconds to get the aim, gets a double. Max 7 on a tear. Watson's down. David steps up. And this is the way they roll. The timing perfect. Team Zeus is just not skipping a beat today, Nep.
Oh, definitely. I mean, they are bestowed by the god of Free Fire at this point. 3 elimination early game. They continue their role. And again, I don't want to jinx them. I don't want to stop them from performing. Mama. But it seems like David is not stopping at all. The MVP from the previous map is still bringing in with that AC80. 4 elimination, 2 for David, 2 for Wasson. I guess I take it back. He was on in that Damon player JK right now, bringing back that M82B with that headshot.
Talking about on player JK, just brought it right back in here. It's the kind of snipe I was missing. Wake up, JK. We need more. I'm a little sleepy. If you guys didn't know, Neptune and I, we had to wake up at 3:45 in the morning to make a 4:45 a.m. call time. Okay? To start this show. We are sleepy. But this action here is keeping us up for sure. I am not sleepy anymore, my friend. And I hope T-Rex and Zeus make it to that final circles because I want to see a showdown between the two giants before they go to sleep. A little bit of hibernation as we welcome groups C and D. We get to see more of them tomorrow. And I am upset now after the teaser.
Oh, let's see now. Let's see if this is something that would remove you from that situation, from that state, because E7 have to bring themselves in second place or try and catch up in terms of points. But speaking of points, they need 34. Spang right now will be taken down by White. M590 in hand. And there you have it. 9 with 4 eliminations, 2 from White, but unfortunately they lost 1.
White did him dirty. 9 was going for it. Together they are called Knight. Yep.
Yeah.
Slip of the tongue. They just turned out well. But 9 was looking for the absolute annihilation, raking in those numbers, going for the 5th elimination in the game. White was just backing him up. The only justification there is, bro, I thought I was backing you up, all right? I accidentally got the shot, man. I mean, it's not my fault.
It was only supposed to be chip damage.
I was going in for the assist, all right? You had the later shot, not my fault. Pirates. Let's see if or not they can step it up this time around. 3 eliminations, E7 with the 6. As 9 and White join up, everybody rotating, and the Supreme Squad. The Supremos are still playing Revival, bro.
Yeah, Supreme Revival, I would say. I mean, I couldn't count how many revive they have put in, but thank you for production. They've given us that data, so I'll be able to calculate how many revives this. Not to take out, not to make fun of Supreme, but to make sure that they are honored for their survivability. But there's no surviving for the team as Peli Rojo right now, together with Jeff, takes down another player, bringing 7 to that E7 Empire name.
The only lesson here is you best live up to your name, all right? What's that? Again. Just waiting in. Waiting in an opportunity, getting another elimination. And 787 Esports gets annihilated, kicked out in the 8th. Sport 787 did well in Bermuda. 11 points in total, nothing in Solara, and now clunking out early here at Nextera. Early in Nextera, clunking out early on Solara. So let's see if or not they can pull in the adjustments tomorrow. Hasn't been a great day for 787. Kind of played it a little 6-7, you know?
Well, let's see. If, probably they can change that storyline later on, but Ban has been banned out, being taken down from the skies, and E7 on their roll. Casa Vista is where they might be able to find their opponents, but seems like they are hiding that much. Now, Jeff right now, a little bit too close, but still connected and will be healed up with that electrotherapy. But Eliezer Aleman will try to move away, get into the next phase, and probably gatekeep E7 if they can fight back.
E7, 8 in the pocket. And looking for more. Sir Will says no, not off of me. HTP. Electrotherapy arrogance going in for the rush. Cito 69 drops 9. HTP down on the ground. Timing off. And E7's getting punished for that. That just was not the right moment to go in there. Trickling in one after the other. And HDP did not do himself justice, rushing on in after 9 had gotten knocked down. And 9 forced on a revival. This means he will have to play a little bit at a time, looking back for that loot, unless he can get to his own loot box here, dependent on the rest of his team members. T-Rex, on the other hand, 6 elimination already, and they have got some new prey in their crosshairs.
Now let's see if they'll be able to take them down. So far, tanking the blue at this point doesn't hurt that much, but it would hurt in a bit because a 3rd to the 4th phase would chip a lot of that damage. Getting close to the next phase of the circle, using the launch pad. But unfortunately, Bolakarn knocked down. Blue would not help them in. If he can move up quickly, then that is their fighting chance. So going in a little bit passive, but it's a good thing that they're already stacked up points in the early game.
Yeah, this is great, man. Team boosters coming in clutch at a situation like this. The circle would have definitely put Bolakan in a lot of trouble. They would have had to play the revival, just making sure they can tank a little bit of extra time outside the zone. Proved to be a very valuable Arsenal E7 Empire. I wasn't expecting that one as they try to make their way into the circle. I guess too few players left on the other side. 10 eliminations on the side of Shinigamis. This is the kind of adjustments but T-Rex just happened.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see if they'll be able to fight back. If they'll be able to redeem themselves. And Eliezer being taken down. M79 coming from Darius brings them to 9 elimination. Now, getting into next phase of the circle. But there's a lightning zone onto them. Skyle will be in there. And, well, it's a good thing that they have that elevation. They have that ridge to play with. Otherwise, shots would be on them already.
Yeah, dirty play there from T-Rex Gaming. Bolakan with the rush, forcing the panic. And Darius just a drive-by with the grenade launcher. Made those eliminations so easy for T-Rex to pick up. 9 eliminations already. 6 more squads left in here. And the circle favoring T-Rex Gaming. Nobody behind them. And it would take a mad squad to take the jump pad to land right beside T-Rex Gaming. So a lot of the action is going to be happening on the opposite end. Open grounds playtime.
Oh, let's see. I mean, Zeus Gaming right now. Getting close to Galaxy. And there goes one down. Another one. 8124 pop. This removes Galaxy Gaming into the mix. Aggression from Zeus Gaming. And let's see, targeting T-Rex from afar. Shinigami's being taken down despite of the effort that they have with more than 10 elimination.
It's all about detachment, man. They're slightly more detached with death this time around. Surviving a little longer. So props to them. Great adjustments, great recovery in the final game of warm-up day for Shinigamis before they show up again tomorrow. Zeus on the other hand, player JK. It's T-Rex Gaming right in front of them. Buddy system play from both. Riptide Rhythm breaking down the defenses. Timely manner. Oh, those glue walls. Absolute perfection. Buying themselves a little bit of extra time, all because of the team booster. And it will be T-Rex saving themselves from annihilation. Zeus does not get the hit and run.
That is a battle that we were looking for. T-Rex going against Zeus. And there goes Darius for Godname onto David 444. Now let's see if he can take it down. Darius goes down as well. It seems like Bolakarn can bring so much in this fight if he can get close to the opponent. And David right now, there goes the rush, but Bolakarn missing those shots, and player JK helped along.
Oh, fantastic back and forth between Zeus as well as T-Rex, but Darius, the game changer. God, nade from Darius. Yet another opportunity taken perfectly with the M79. And T-Rex looks strong for this lobby. Pirates, SNPT in the final circle. This is a surprise, brother.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is what they practice for. Survive, revive, and then bring yourself to the final circle. Now let's see if they can fight back. There goes the shots. Pirates already in, but Supremo onto the corner, and the shift is still favoring them. So it's T-Rex who needs to move, and Pirates has lost one of the players already. Zone is closing in, shifting towards where they need to be. But up close and personal, Z-Dogs managed to win that good fight with a Thompson and goes for the finisher.
Oh, best case scenario here coming through for SNPT. They go up against slightly easier competition, but now 4v1, T-Rex showing who's boss in the battle between A versus B as they bag 2 booyahs on their day 1 play day. That's not too bad at all.
Yeah, definitely not too bad. And we've seen T-Rex bring so much booyah into the game, knowing that they have dominance in this. I guess game number 1 was a testing ground. Game number 2, they went a little bit too aggressive, eliminated early, and then game number 3 is where all those adjustment comes into play. I'm loving this version of T-Rex right now, but they're still far away to what Zeus Esports has brought in. But let's not take it away for our MVP with that Skylar and a build for Sniper, which is a VSK 94. Our MVP, the Sniper, player JK.
Maro is a great skill for the Sniper to bring in. We obviously saw the Skylar there as well. Riptide rhythm, timing was perfect. Player J, we were talking about this. Player JK needs to wake up. You know, he was sleeping in that first matchup. The team did well, but we didn't see a lot from him. He was like, all right, sorry. It was a little too early in the day. You know, some of these players, they play late into the night, right? Player JK, just that sort of night owl here. He wants to wake up slightly later in the day. Does exactly that, and he did it at the right time. Just when Zeus started showing us that they are not here to mess around, the reigning, defending champions. Not only do they get a little bit of a revenge play in this third game, but they also personally put a stop to Zeus with that phenomenal play by Darius. Grenades were just popping, and T-Rex, they were slaying. Not as massive as the previous game, but this is a great comeback from T-Rex overall. But of course, still very, very impressive Team Zeus from the start of the day.
Yeah, definitely. And, well, as we look into our match standings, T-Rex with an awesome 30 points, 18 on elimination, but it doesn't pull down Zeus Gaming. They managed to get 10 elimination plus the 7 in the placement. 17 adds up to their lead against both E7 and T-Rex. But still, the champion, the defending champion, really doesn't need to be that number 1. All they have to do is to maintain their dominance and put themselves in the top 18 to be able to get into the next stage.
Let's see if we're not. Groups C and D can live up to the expectations now, dude. T-Rex, the reigning defending champions, double booyah, starting off the day, ending their group day with phenomenal plays. And of course, the filler, which just happens to be the most dominating team of the day because of that game 2, 45-pointer Zeus. That's what they're going to be called moving forward. 45-pointer Zeus. Bloody hell, what a game.
45ers.
45ers. You know, in other games, that would be a bad scoreline. In this one, it's a heck of a scoreline.
Definitely. I mean, 40s is not easy to reach at this point, and especially when the competition is that tight. But, well, that's what you need right now. We've seen, we put in so much hype on T-Rex, 5-star, and also Rosario Central, but now there's a time for Zeus Esports to put their name in the board, and they managed to do that. They like broken records already for one specific game, and they can easily put themselves on the board with like their massive game for tomorrow. But that's it for Group A and B right now, and I'm really looking forward to what Group C and D has to offer.
I don't know if you are in Group C and D, you are in trouble right now because the expectation, the bar is here, my friend. It was here at the start of the day, okay? You had a few teams returning, and then they just kicked it up right here. And that's the very edge. Beyond this, you can't see my hand anymore. That's where the bar is right now. How do you exceed such a level? I don't know. Groups C and D, they definitely have got their work cut out for them. But it was one heck of a start for the day. And, you know, and again, this is, I hope and pray that the teams watching, right? You know, the teams are playing the exact same server. This is FFUSA, brother. USA Championship running right now. If you're within the region, you can qualify. See, there's not a lot of dominators yet. You guys still have time to make it in here. And it's also a great opportunity for the teams that are struggling, Neptune, because clearly these are the creme de la creme of squads, but we do need a little bit of, you know, a repair in terms of pairings as well as aggression out there. Maybe some re-roster as they sneak some players off of other squads. Majors happening when we end this season.
Yeah, let's see though. I mean, so far in week 1, day number 1 is phenomenal. We've only witnessed 3 games yet, and a lot more will be seen. A lot more would be shown by the teams once we get into Group C and D. And well, this is one thing as well, guys. This would be a sneak peek. 5-Star has grabbed a booyah in their first match, so I'm really looking forward to this version of 5-Star at this point, because a lot of expectation, as you did mention, from the previous season.
Absolutely. And yes, so there are questions on whether or not groups C and D are going to be broadcasted live. Absolutely, man. We will not let you guys miss out on all of these crazy matches that we've got coming up for you. So Kalahari, Purgatory, Alpine, that is going to come up live right after a short break that we're going to be taking here. My name's AJ. I'm the Mustachio down here with my brother Neptune, the Gentleman Garcia. We'll catch you guys shortly. Don't go anywhere. Groups and C and D await us.